when we first started, can you tell me a little bit about some of your symptoms, how you were, and what you were dealing with at that time?
Well, I was just very weak. I'd come out of the hospital not too long before, and I was completely spastic, which in an odd way helped me a little bit to stand and so forth. But when I lost that spasticity, I just became like a jellyfish. I mean, I remember the first few times trying to get in the chamber, how difficult it was to get up on the stretcher to be wheeled in. And I mean, and now it's like nothing.
Yeah, now you're standing up and doing it on your own.
Yeah.
That's a huge change.
That's the main thing, that and of course my sense of balance.
I know you had pretty much no movement or no use of your right arm when you first came here, is that correct?
Pretty much, yeah.
And now can you show me a little bit about your movement and what you have?
Well, I have the wrist moving okay, the fingers. I actually can straighten my right hand now. It doesn't seem to be working well. but yeah, shoulder, elbow, it's all come online. You know, it'll take a while to get the strength back, but every muscle seems to be working now.
And I noticed a little bit of difference in your speech too from the beginning to now.
Oh, much. Yeah, they tell me I speak a lot clearer than I was.
We're on session number 40 today, is that correct?
Yes.
And what other therapies have you been doing?
Physical therapy for the last few weeks, speech therapy and occupational therapy. I didn't have my first meaningful session until yesterday, so that's just not getting on board, helping with the arm and so forth.
He was on a waiting list to your.
So we didn't even start therapy until just now.
Yeah, just yesterday.
Okay, so we went through hyperbarics and with pretty much no therapy.
Well, I had the physical therapy helping with the leg, and they helped me to walk and balance, but pretty much, yeah, this has been it.
So he had, and I get to say he had a neurogenic bladder. And there was issues of requiring catheterization constantly. That is gone.
Good.
He has been healed of that.
Yeah, we can't blame those on anything but Hyperbaric.
And then the anxiety that was extreme when he first came, which made it hard to do the first session, that's gone in.
Yes.
His mental outlook is positive. He feels like he's got a future now because the hyperbaric has helped him get moving. He's got movement back. He has the hope of continuing to get function back. And, you know, he's got finger motion back, wrist motion back, elbow and arm. The balance is vastly better.
Yeah.
In the beginning, he couldn't even sit unassisted.
Yeah.
And now he requires no assistance to sit, and he can stand unassisted. Yesterday in therapy, he walked 250 feet with no assistance except a Hemi walker. It's shaped like a teepee, so it's kind of like a cane with 4 prongs, and he walked alone. And he was never able to do that before.
I love that. It's really good.
Yeah.
I know you two have been huge patient advocates for him and for Donald, and it's been a really big part of your care. I know that when things have come up, both y'all very vocal, both y'all incredibly involved in the care, and that's something that's very motivational to us because, again, we come from caregiver families, and so we like to see the same thing from other people. So that's actually what makes this whole thing really nice for us. This is the emotional value out of what we do here is worth way more than anything else we could ever get out of this. So.
Well, I don't think there's any place like yours, and we feel extremely fortunate that you do what you do and that you allowed us to come. We're glad we made the financial sacrifice, and we were grateful for, we got contributions from his work and friends, lots of contributions from friends, and that money went to the right place. And we feel like your staff that you have, they enabled him to get in that chamber those first few times and feel confident and cared for. You know, you provide a healing environment here. Not just the machine, but the people that work here. You know, your demeanor, you know, the way everything is explained so well, and the comforting way Jackson and Ashley talk, and it's really nice.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about your first day in the chamber versus your second day in the chamber?
Pure panic. I couldn't stand being enclosed in that small space. I remember I kept banging my head. And then I just finally learned I can't move my head up, and that turned out to be okay. It helped me to relax in a weird sort of way. And I just learned to keep my head back, adjust from side to side, and the movies, of course, really help. I remember one thing that was, I remember why I panicked too. The first time I went in there, I fell asleep. And when I woke up, the sense of disorientation kicked in, and I just had to get out. That was the first time. Since then, I just made sure I didn't fall asleep anymore. I just sit back, relax, watch my movie, and then, oh, it's time to get out. Cool.
I know the first time was a little bit of a struggle,
Yeah.
and then we tried again after that the next day,
Uh-huh.
and we actually completed the whole day on that second one.
Yeah. And it just seems like every session's already getting shorter.
Good.
Well, Jackson, like, you know, Donald was, it's not going to work today. Get me out of here, right? And then Jackson said, oh, I said, we can't waste that money. And then Jackson said, well, if we can just get you in for 2 minutes, at least we have that 2 minutes, you know, that we've paid for. That's an expensive 2 minutes, right? And he went in and didn't come out until it was finished. But Jackson made the difference. Like, if it hadn't been for him, and he stays so professional and calm and caring 100% of the time. Ashley does too, and that's what Donald needed. It was the right place,
Yeah.
the right people, the right time. That
Good.
we couldn't have the occupational therapy during the hyperbaric.
Is it timing wise?
He was on a waiting list.
Oh, okay.
You had encouraged us to do therapy, and he's had PT the whole time. But I wish he could have had the occupationals for the arm.
Yeah.
They work with the arms and shoulders, and so.
So all this improvement is just you guys.
Is there anything that you would like to say to someone that would be considering treatment for after a stroke but has some reserves about it?
Always worth it. That's all I can say. It's worth it. It's worth it.
So you're glad you did it. You're grateful you've had it.
Yes.
Yeah. It was I was pushing, at first, and the book helped.
Mm-hmm.
He read every word. We bought a copy of
both
both
the
of your
Oxygen Revolution.
both of your
Yes.
books. That the heart. I don't
Oxygen
remember.
under pressure.
Yeah, I forget and there's a video from the author of the book on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So he read every word of that book before breakfast, before Hyperbaric. So, and that helps so much when you really know something about the Hyperbaric. then you become your own advocate and you become a fan as well. It's not something you're doing because your wife says to or your husband says to. You realize, hey, look, there's some real evidence here that it's helpful.
That's a lot of the reason why we have the studies listed on our website is, we don't want to just tell people, yes, it's helpful. Well, we want you to do your own research too. We want you to make sure that you understand that it's worth it. And if it's not for everyone, but, it's, especially right after an injury, it has the best benefits.
Well, it's a small sacrifice to pay for this ourselves, considering the benefits. I think hyperbaric helped him more than anything that the tier did or the hospital. I mean, obviously they had to stabilize him.
Yeah.
This was the real help.
I'm glad to hear that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for listening.